Alright, what's up? So, today is probably the first day I'm doing scripted content. I really should have put this on my phone, but because of the fact that I wrote it down, didn't really edit it. So, this is realistically the first time I'm doing scripted content. And by that, I kind of just mean the fact that, like, I'm doing content where I actually have a script written down. It's the first time. We'll see how it does. But today, as you can probably tell by the title, we're talking about Atlas, or you can tell by truthfully the screen that is full of all the Atlas stuff on Steam. I'm still very much riffing right now. But yeah, this is everything that Atlas has. We'll kind of just show stuff as we go along with the script. So, when it comes to Atlas, I have an interesting history with them. Not like a work relationship or that I know someone that personally works in Atlas, but I have played their games for a while. So for most people, their first Atlus game was probably Persona 5. Not saying people don't play the Devil Summoner series or any of the other series that Atlus decides to release, but their most known title to the public, in my knowledge, is Persona 5. Now, my first game from Atlus that I played was Persona 1 on PSP. The reason why let's to go back on that is the fact that like Persona 5 anime was pretty popular. The 4 anime was also really popular, which is why I believe that most people know it because of the anime, but also the game really sold really well. As you can tell, it's also a riff. Um, I even had what was basically the deluxe edition that came with a 2-disc soundtrack. And again, that was on PSP. That was an amazing time. Now, from my memory, the game is not like any current personal Persona game. It plays kind of similar to Devil Summoner, which when to try that out, you may have to get a 3DS or truthfully anything else besides PC, because if you look on the site, Devil Summoner is basically on everything. And when I mean everything besides PC, it's kind of sad. I've been wanting to replay Devil Summoner game without really having to take out my 3DS, or I don't have a 3DS anymore, but or try to find it on the Nintendo shop on my Switch. The closest thing that we have to that is Shin Megami Tensei, which is basically the Devil Summoner. You will see that under the banner when it says Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner. Um, but the closest thing we do have is Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance, which isn't out yet, and a game I had no knowledge of, which is Soul Hackers 2, which currently has mixed reviews. So wouldn't really look into that right now. When I say it has mixed reviews, I'm I'm gonna pull it up right now. As you can tell, there's really not a lot of editing going to be happening. There you go. Soul Hackers 2, $60. Now, this is on mix right now. Average 129. Mix is out of 1,842. It's very much mixed, but actually that's not bad though. 66% of these viewers are positive, which is not bad. Animation looks good. The same essential like personas that you will see essentially in Persona, in any of the Persona games. Animation seems kind of basic. It doesn't really seem like that much of a pretty good thing. It very much just reminds me of truthfully any Atlas game. So it's like a so where was I? Yeah. So let's talk about the games I can talk about, since I don't really think I can play the Devil Summoner game without struggling. And what I meant by that is the fact that like Devil Summoner is probably one of the harder games when it comes to the Atlas, most of the Atlas series they release. Like Persona 5 or any Persona games, you don't really have to struggle. And I mean this as like, there are levels you can struggle if you go to a higher difficulty. But I'm talking about the fact that Devil Summoner, if I remember, they have a difficulty, which I never choose hard. Even on normal, you can still fail. Like that's what I mean. Like normal is actually still hard. So it's a hard series. So you're gonna be struggling. Maybe you're not. Maybe I'm just a scrub. But I definitely struggled when it came to the Devil Summoner I was playing. Let's see, where was I? Okay, I have played. Now let's talk about my information or my history with Persona games. I have played Persona 1, 3, 4, and 5. As you can tell, didn't play 2 because feel like I'm missing a game on that. No. Oh no, I'm waiting. So I'm waiting for Persona 1 to be released, which probably will take a while. And I also want Persona 2 to get released on PC as well, but that might take a while because after looking it up, Persona 2 has two versions of itself, so I don't know what they're going to do with a re release, if they're going to just fuse the two games together or re release two different games, which I feel like at that point, if you can find a way to release both games, have it as a bundle, which or just have it so like which games was it? There was a certain game where you essentially had both games in the thing. You just play this one before you play the other one. They give you instructions to play this one first. If you do not have things, so truthfully, they should release both games as an initial one game, but also just have it so you can kind of continue the story with the other game. So like have one game in the menu and then have the other game, or just try to find a way to fuse both games. Um, Now to talk about my history with one. So I beat Persona 1 with a bad ending, which I've said a lot on stream. And also, I believe I said in videos as well. I wanted to redo it to get a good ending, but my PSP got bricked, and I never got the experience to really get the good ending that I wanted. So for people that don't know what brick means, in the wholesome sense, it means your PSP or your system stops working, and at that point, it is as useful as a brick. As in, there's no way to turn it on. You can't remotely use it for anything. It actually is literally just useless, and your best option is to either use it as paperwork or just throw it away. Um, Persona 3 was a game I played not that long ago since Atlus remade it and released it on Steam, all the current consoles. I liked it a lot, and won't really go into it because since this isn't really a formal review of every Persona game, this is just me recapping and talking about Atlus as a company in whole, or not really a company in whole, but basically a company that from the games I've played. Um, so there's that. So let's talk about Persona 4. Persona 4 was not really as modern when they released it again on current consoles and PC. Now, if you look, you can see that Persona 4 was released in 2020. And the thing is, they also have their fighting game, which Persona loves to kind of release fighting games as well. Now, the fighting game, the Persona 4, if you just look, I'm going to kind of just hold it, and you can actually see how the characters look, how it looks here. This is basically how the cutscenes will look as well. So that way you can easily see that there is difference in style and quality, even from the character models when it comes to just the talking scenes. That completely different, really big heads. So that's what I'm really going to talk about right now. But yeah, so 4 was not really as modern when they released it on the current console and PC. It was fun because it's basically an older game with anime cutscenes. Now, Persona 5 is a different beast since Atlus decided to release multiple versions of the game. And when I say multiple versions, I mean multiple version upon versions of versions. Versions? Virgins. Virgins. The thing is, even on Steam, we have a actual good amount of Persona games. We have Persona 5 Tactica, then we have Persona 5 Royal. I don't think we have. Oh yeah, we never owned the main game. We have Persona 5 Strikers. So you have a total of 3 games on Steam alone, and there's more games on the other consoles that got it. Now, remember what I just said. Persona 5 is a different beast since Atlus. I already read that. So they decided to release a different version of the game, which is my problem with Atlus. I love their games, but Atlus loves to release different versions of the same game with somewhat different styles and a somewhat different playstyle, which is very true. The story is somewhat the same, but gameplay will be different. Let's talk about the 2 games I actually want to play. I actually wanted to play. I actually played to completion when it comes to the multiple games. I have played OG Persona 5, and just recently beat Persona 5 Royal. I was bothered initially because I felt that they could have just released a DLC and not just a different version of the game with a new game price tag. I have held that stance for a long time till I played Persona 5 Royal. Now, Persona 3 released a DLC for Persona 3 Reloaded, which has a new story for one of the main characters in the game without spoiling it. Which upset people because it should have just been in the game since from the very start. And the reason why people are really upset with that, again, going off script, is because of the fact that that story was very much in the original game, so everybody knew it was going to come out. But it still upset people because of the fact that here's the thing: you knew it was in the game. Why would you decide to release it as a paid thing? And we can even look in Persona 3. Check the DLC tag. Which I think there's a DLC. Where the fuck is the DLC tag? I don't know where it is. Should be a DLC for it, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did I not release? 5-3. I don't even see it. That's interesting. I remember them releasing a DLC, but I also don't know how to check DLCs for games because I'm inept at everything I do, apparently. Um, yeah, I don't know where it is. I thought there was a DLC tag, but even when you look on kind of Persona 3 or collection or there's a bundle. Why is there a bundle for Persona 3 and 4, which are completely different games? I get the reason why they actually added that, which is essentially, let's actually check this. They added it just because of the fact that it's 3 and 4, so you'd want to play both games. So, but the thing about Persona games is that it doesn't really follow a story arc, so playing the series never really matters when it comes to Persona games. Because, like I said, there is no connection. There's legitimately no connection. They're not really the same characters. It's not like you're following a family lineage. The way you access personas are different. The only thing that's really the same is the fact that it's Persona. The personas are very much going to be the same. That's really it. That's legitimately, as you can tell, I have also Reloaded, which I can also no, I have Portable, which again, different version, not the same. The one that people are actually upset about, I should refund this because I bought it like an idiot, and I don't really plan to play it ever. I should probably do that too. Yeah, see, they have Reloaded, which is literally very much like endgame content for Digest, which is $40 basically. It's 34.99, probably equal up to 36 with tax and everything, which is wild to do for. It's very wild to have a price point like that for just a DLC, which again is mostly in-game content. And also you can just see the reason why I also just like games because you just have all these fucking DLCs for no fucking reason. Anyway, to get back to, as you can tell, why. Um, Naruto has a few differences from the OG, but majority of the story is the same. Um, but with subtle differences. This is all worth a new game price tag for the changes they added. No, not at all. The biggest additions to the game was follow-up messages to Confidant, a new palace, new Confidant, and also different personas. Um, is my opinion because I feel like all this could have been added to a DLC. There's also more time given to you so you can advance more Confidant. I would have hoped that they decided to scrap the buffer time between advancing a Confidant. What I mean by that is that there are times when the Confidant won't advance in their ranks unless you spend time with them without really gaining anything for the time spent. Um, which is kind of a game breaker because of the fact that Persona is very much a game where you want to you want to spend your time wisely, and it doesn't really make you spend your time wisely because of the fact that you have to do all this shit. All right, cool. So we're done with the script. I'm gonna very much just talk about the actual nitty gritty, and kind of just go off cuff because at the end of the day, going off the script doesn't really fit my vibes. Let's talk about stuff. So when it comes to the follow up messages, it's just a simple greeting. They literally just message you right after you're done with uh, your date, I guess, which is not really your hangout, depending on what you're doing. They'll message you. You have to answer a certain way, and after answering a certain way, you might also advance into, you might get more likability essentially, which makes it so that you can hopefully, and this is just a hopeful, you can hopefully next time you see them, you will be able to advance and also not have to do a buffer time or the upsetting thing that I've just talked about. Now, the thing is, that doesn't happen. I've literally also, because there's also websites based on what the best choice is and what you get the highest thing on. Even if you select still plus threes all the time, there's still times to get a buffer time. Kawakami is famous for that. She loves her buffer time, so you'll be waiting forever for her to even finish her stuff. It really sucks. But yeah, this is my biggest problem with Persona games is that it's riddled with these shits, which don't really matter. The only thing I really buy from games is, or Persona games, is really just the soundtrack because the soundtracks are always amazing. I don't really buy this because Persona 5, the only good thing they really added was the fact that like all the DLC was included since it very much was basically a new deluxe edition. Um, Now, like I said before, was it needed? No. No, as you can probably tell, you would well or think I don't really like Persona games or I don't like Atlus. That's kind of a lie. I do like them. I think they're not the best company when it comes to kind of pushing out games and what they decide to do with said games. But I also do feel like they make pretty good games from time to time, and I usually thoroughly enjoy them. Like I said, when if 2 and 1 or yeah 2 and 1 decide to be re-released, I'm going to be playing it on stream. I'm going to be enjoying it. I'll wait literally for a time for me to play it on stream, and I'm going to be the happiest person ever because I get to play basically all the Persona games, and once I'm done, I'll be happy as fuck. I'll be happy when 6 comes out, if it comes out. Like, I'll be happy playing it. That's the thing. I know I like the game. I very much don't care for the fact that, like, they try to squeeze out as much money as possible by kind of adding all these different versions of games, which they shouldn't do in the first place. But at the end of the day, like I said, nothing I can really do about it. That's their model. It's worked for them for years. They're not going to really stop it, even if it is a scummy approach instead of making a new game which people actually do want. So that's really just how I feel. That's really it. As you can tell, this was basically a fusion between script and also um, it was a fusion between script and kind of my usual thing, which is just off the dome. If you like it, cool. I don't really know if I like it or not because of the fact that I had to like turn my head essentially, which also was just forward, which is interesting. I had to turn my head to read on my other monitor. I was gonna do like this, but it was too far for my eyes, and I would have to wear my glasses, and my model doesn't like my glasses. So yeah, that's really gonna be it though. Thank you for joining me for my first kind of scripted content. Also, let's see. I also want to show you exactly the games I would actually like play when it comes to Atlas or the new coming games that will release. I definitely want to play Vengeance. Vengeance looks cool. Um, Metaphor definitely looks also interesting. I don't believe there's going to be any romance when it comes to Vengeance. So that's going to be. So if you are used to the romance, don't really play it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's, like I said, it's going to be more open world than anything. It is adorable. Looks amazing from the graphics and also gameplay wise. So I'm going to have fun with that. I definitely would never play this game because no, I beat this game. I had somewhat fun with it. Like I said, weren't really much changes. There was also story discrepancies between one of the characters. I'll start with them. Mish. I'm gonna say Mish to tell you what to give you a hint. There were times when he was acting strange from how he, and again, it was like in game. He would know who we are, but he wouldn't know who we are at the same time. It was just kind of distracting at the point, knowing who he is, because it just felt like he's getting a different how do you call it? It just feels like he doesn't know what's happening. Like he just has memory loss at times, and it's just very distracting when it comes to the game. That's gonna be it though for today. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, like I said, the scripted content. I did go off of script a good time, a good few times, because I felt like there was more to indulge in when it came to information. I actually did look up certain stuff to actually add to the script, so that way I can actually kind of say stuff with some type of backing. But yeah, that's really gonna be it. I'll see you all again next week. Uh, I don't know when I'm gonna do this because I'm supposed to be going out next week to go hang out with a friend. And usually I do this around, what time is it? 4 o'clock, 4 to 5, which means I gotta probably do it earlier than that because I'm definitely gonna be needing to leave earlier, probably by like 2 or 3, give or take, because it's like a 1 hour and 50 minute um, train ride. So I also need to see exactly what time I need to leave as well. So I might actually have to leave early in that. But yeah, that's really gonna be it for the day. Like I said, we all have a good rest of your week. Also a good Monday, I guess. But yeah, I'll see you all again next week. I love you all, and it has been me, Oni Incubus. Later days, all. Love you all. Peace. Love you all.